Watch this now to stop struggling with feelings of worthlessness. I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins, a professional psychologist, and to get this, you first need to understand what's causing those feelings, and it's not what you think. And then I'll give you a practical challenge that you can try for 5 days. Okay, actually I said earlier that it's not what you think it is, but it is what you think. I'm inviting you for a moment to turn on your metacognition. Metacognition simply means thinking about thinking. Think about your own thinking for a moment. Be aware of what's going on in your mind as I call some things to your attention. It is what you think that causes feelings of worthlessness. Now, to make a distinction really quickly, thoughts and feelings are not the same thing. Sometimes people tell me, well, I just feel like I'm not worth anything. That's not a feeling. That's a thought. And it causes a feeling. The feeling is worthlessness. Usually, here's a rule of thumb. If it's one word, sometimes two, but usually one, it's a feeling. If it's a sentence or a story or a narrative, it's a thought. And what we know from the field of cognitive psychology is that thoughts create feelings. So it actually is what you think that's causing the feelings of worthlessness. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. In psychology, the number one belief or thought that causes feelings of worthlessness is that worth can change. Meaning personal worth. My worth as a human being. It can change. It can go up. It can go down. This surprises some people because you would think that feelings of worthlessness are that, oh, my worth is not very high. Yes, but that implies that that worth can change. If it can go up or if it can go down. This is what we call a depressionogenic thought. Now, I'm throwing all this psychology at you so that you can understand where it's coming from. Worth or human value is fixed. That's a thought too, but I'm just suggesting an alternate thought for you here for a minute. If it can't change, then there's no way I can drive it up or drive it down because it's fixed. What does that change for you? If you were to believe that your worth as a human being can't change, it's fixed permanently, that would change some things. When we believe that it can go up or down, we spend all of our time trying to make sure that it goes up and realizing that it never is as high as it could be. That leaves us feeling inadequate or worthless. And it's tied to that line of thinking. I've developed a model that helps us to see what's actually going on with our thinking. It is a visual model that breaks our thinking into two categories, evaluation and creation. I'll even give you a copy of this model. Just go to the URL that's right there on the screen, drpauljenkins.com/the model, and I'll send you a PDF copy of this so that you can have the visual that I'll be referring to occasionally as we talk about your thinking. Now let's go to evaluation mode for a minute. Evaluation means judgment. And your brain is always doing this. You can't turn it off. Just notice that you're constantly judging yourself, your circumstances, your family, the economy, the government. You're judging me. It's cool, I'm judging you. We can't turn it off. It's just part of what our brain does. Judgment or evaluation implies comparison with some standard. So if I ask myself, okay, how am I doing? Well, compared to what? According to what standard? So go back to what I already shared with you about that belief, that depressionogenic belief that my worth or my value can change. It can go up, it can go down. How am I doing? How worthy or worthwhile am I? Well, compared to what? Now notice that you can always imagine something better. You can also imagine something worse. What you compare it to determines how you feel. So if we know that our worth is fixed, how am I doing? Well, I'm right here. Always. My worth, and I like to put it at this value too, is great, because I believe that about you, about every human being on this planet. That human value is great, period. Okay? It can't go up, it can't go down. Now, we can do things to affect our experience, and every choice has a consequence. That's not what we're talking about here today. What we're talking about is that human life value, and it is great for everyone on the planet. There you go. Problem solved. To fix this problem, it's not that we think less of ourselves. We just think of ourselves less. We shift our focus to the rich, abundant life that we enjoy without any question of our worth, because it's already fixed. If it can go up and down, then we've got a rat race to go chase. But if it's fixed, we can lay that aside and start focusing on all of the other rich abundance that we experience on a daily basis in our lives. Try that out. Now, I've got a 5-day challenge for you. And this has 2 parts to it. The 2 parts that I'm referring to go back to the 2 processes that are going on in our brain that's represented on the model I promised to send you. Remember, drpauljenkins.com/the model. I'll send you a copy of this. In evaluation, we're going to do one particular challenge, and in creation, we're going to do the other. So those are the 2 parts of our 5-day challenge. Let's start with the evaluation one. Gratitude. I call this the gratitude power up. Just remember 25-5. Now 5 is for the 5 days. We've already got that down. This is a 5-day challenge. The 25 is your gratitude list. And don't repeat anything on tomorrow's list that's on today's list. 25 items each day for 5 days. You write them down on a list, things that you're sincerely grateful for. And don't make it up. You have to actually be grateful for it to make your list. You with me? Now here's what powers it up. At least half of your list every day. That's 13 if you're doing the math. At least half of your list every day is about the hard stuff. Something that is difficult, painful, frustrating, challenging. Now, this is where I lose some people, because you might be thinking, well, what is there to be grateful for in that? Which is a pretty good question, but it's not a question. In this case, it's a statement disguised as a question. Do you hear the exclamation point? What is there to be grateful for in that? Put a question mark back on it. What is there to be grateful for in that? And that is whatever's difficult, painful, frustrating, hard for you right now. Let's say you have a diagnosis or a condition, or your bank account is empty, or the weather is bad, whatever it is. What can you find in that hard thing that you're sincerely grateful for? You put that on the list. I have found gratitude in some of the most painful experiences in my life, including injuries, diagnoses, bankruptcy. There's always something to be grateful for. In the gratitude power up, we're inviting our brain to focus on and to find for us what we're grateful for in the difficulty. This will change the game. Do it for 5 days, okay? You in? Awesome. Here's the second part to your 5-day challenge. I call it BB-8. Kind of like that little droid from Star Wars. But that'll just help you to remember it. How sure are you that 8 o'clock is coming? It's coming. You're pretty sure, aren't you? How sure are you that you'll be around for 8 o'clock? Almost as sure. Now, you've made it to every 8 o'clock so far your whole life, so you've got a really good track record. I'm guessing you're going to be around for 8. And there's only 2 possibilities. I don't think it's possible for things to be exactly the same at 8 o'clock as they are right now. Because at the very least, you're going to be a little older. You might be more hungry, more tired. I don't know. Depends on what you did just before 8. But things aren't going to be exactly the same. Because of that, by your own evaluation, one of those thought processes I taught you about, which you can't turn off, things have to be either better or worse at 8 o'clock by your own judgment. So BB-8, you're going to do this for 5 days, okay? Is that you find some little thing, or it could be a big thing, that's up to you. Something that you could do to make your life better by 8. Now, what's your brain doing? It's coming up with some ideas, right? You've got this brilliant imagination where you can come up with ways to make your life better. And it doesn't have to be huge. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And if you'll do this challenge for the same 5 days as you do the gratitude power up, you get to have 10 upgrades to your life. Because there's 2 8 o'clocks every day, if you haven't noticed, if you don't get up early. How does that feel? This is how we generate hope. Those feelings of worthlessness are going to go bye-bye as you train your thoughts to follow these principles. They're powerful. Remember, if you haven't done it yet, go grab your copy of this model. I'll send you a PDF right to your inbox. Just tell me where to send it. drpauljenkins.com/the model, and it's on its way.